Year 7, we're going to look at compound shapes and how to work out the area of them. Everything you've done before leads up to this because you've learned how to work out the area of a rectangle and the area of a triangle. And most of these shapes are made up of those shapes. So as long as you can work out the area of a rectangle or a triangle, you should be fine. So we'll look at this first shape here. And what's best to do is break it down into the two shapes. So we've got our triangle, and we've got our rectangle. So if I look at, first of all, the triangle, the area of a triangle is half times base times height. Well, the base of this triangle here is going to be 12 and the height is 6. So to work out the area, it's a half times 12. So half of 12 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36, and that's going to be centimetres squared. That's only part of the shape, so I need to work out the rectangle too. So I'm just going to write number 2 and draw a rectangle to remind me. Rectangles are base times height, or length times width, which is going to be 5 times 12, which would be 60 centimetres squared. So I've now got the area of the triangle and the area of the rectangle. So I now just need to add together 36 and 60, which altogether gets me 96 centimetres squared. And that's how you work out the area of that first one. We're going to now have a look at this one over here. You'll notice it's made up of just rectangles. You can divide it in different ways, so it really depends how you want to divide it. But I'm deciding today to make 3 rectangles like this. And again, I'm going to label them 1, 2, and 3. So it's a little bit easier to work them out. So for 1, I need the length times width. So I've got 10 by 5 for that one. And that's going to be 50 centimetres squared. For the second one, I actually don't have all the dimensions I need. So what I need to think about is, well, what's the height of this going to be here? I'm just going to change colour. So I want to know what the height is here. Now, the height of this one over here is 6, the full height. And this height here is 2. So 2 plus something gets me that 6. So this height here must be 4 centimetres. Now, again, I don't know what this measurement is here. So I need to think about the whole length along the bottom is 14. This bit's 5 plus something plus 4 gets me that 14 along the bottom. So 5 plus something I don't know yet plus 4 gets me the full length of 14. So 5 and 4 is 9. Plus something gets me 14, so that something must be 5. So I now have the dimensions of that, which is 4 times 5. So the area of that little bit there, number 2, is 20 centimetres squared. I then can go back to my third rectangle, and I've actually got 4 by 6 already there for me, so it's 4 times 6, which is 24 centimetres squared. And then I just need to add all of those up for my answer. So I've got 0 plus 0 plus 4 gets me to 4. 5 plus 2 plus 2 is 9. So that must be 94 centimetres squared. Let's move across to this example over here. Now you'll notice with this one here, we actually have a rectangle that's been cut into. So I'm just going to put my rectangle back in place. And we just need to remember that it's this that we're working out the area of, just here. So this shape here. And it is a rectangle that's had a triangle cut out. So let's work out the area of the rectangle first. It's 10 by 20, so 10 times 20, which is 200 centimetres squared. We then need to think about, well, what is the area of the triangle that's been cut out? Well, this length along here is 20, the same as the bottom, and the height is 6. So we need to do half times base, 20, times the height, 6. So half of 20 is 10, 10 times 6 is 60 centimetres squared. Now, as I said, it's been cut out. So we need to do, for our answer, the full rectangle, take away the bit that we've cut out, so take away the triangle. So that's going to get me 140 centimetres squared. Okay, and we'll move over here for our final example. For this one, again, it's recognising which way you want to cut it. I'm going to cut it this way here. So I'm going to put a line here. And again, we've got 1, 2. So rectangle 1, rectangle 2. So for rectangle 1, it's 15 by 9, so it's 15 times 9. Now the number's getting a bit bigger, so I'm going to break it down. Instead of doing 15 times 9, I'm going to do a bit of working over here. I'm going to do 10 times 9 and 5 times 9 and put them back together afterwards. So 10 times 9 is 90, 5 times 9 is 45. Add the 0 to the 5, you get 5. 9 plus 4 is 13. So the area, so 15 times 9 is 135 centimetres squared. Okay, for number 2, I don't think I've got all the dimensions I need. I've got 8, but I don't know how tall this is, so I need to have a think. So just change colour of my pen again. We know this whole height here is 15, and we know this little bit 7. So 7 plus something gets me 15. So 7 plus something gets me 15. So my something must be 15 take away 7, which would get me 8. Okay, so now that I know that that's 8, this height's 8, I also need to add on the 4. So that means the full height is 12, which means I'm now going to do 12 times 8. And again, it might be that we need to break this down. So 10 times 8 and 2 times 8 is a little bit easier than 12 times 8 if you don't know your 12 times table. So 10 times 8 is 80. 2 times 8 is 16. 0 plus 6 is 6. 8 plus 1 is 9. So that's 96 altogether. So 96 centimetres squared. So I've only got the 2 to add together. So I'm now going to bring these 2 together. So 6 plus 5 is 11. Carry a 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 9 is 13, and again I've got to carry a 1, then 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's 231 centimetres squared. So to work out these questions, find shapes that you recognise, find the dimensions that are missing, and then once you've got this individual areas, add them all together. Or, in the case of this question here, when we had a bit cut out, make sure that when you've got the areas, you know which one to take away from which one.